that
I'm going to spend the rest
most
of
people
the
have known
day
for their
looking at the
entire
schedule.
life. So
Just mind blown.
Just remind me to bring my softball glove. Or I'll put it on the calendar so I know to pack.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to sneak your bat in. Do you check a bag, or do you probably just carry on?
I normally don't, but I really like my bat.
Yeah, that's what I want to try out your new bat.
I have 2 new bats. Maybe I will check my bag. Check my bag so I can. Can I bring a carry-on as a baseball bat? Probably not, right?
Maybe. What if you had like a fancy case for it or something, like a guitar case or something?
Oh yeah, guitar case. That makes more sense than a gun case. Hold on. Can I carry? We're live now, by the way. We'll start the show in a moment.
Like an oboe case, I feel like would be a good size for a softball bat. Can you just buy an oboe case and just put a baseball bat in there?
Bat on a flight. On an airplane. That makes more sense.
I mean, what's the difference, the baseball bat and just like a stick? You can carry a stick on, can't you?
Sport and equipment that can be used as bludgeoning tools, such as bats and clubs, are prohibited in the cabin of the plane and must be transported in your checked bag.
That's a shame.
I like that they used the word bludgeon.
Yeah, you can bludgeon with a baseball bat.
Yeah,
you could bludgeon with almost any.
But there's definitely other stuff on an airplane you can bludgeon. If you want to, you could bludgeon with the that tray table that they stick on the back seat if you really want to hit someone.
Yeah. I'm sure we could go through your carry-on and find some things too.
Oh, I guarantee it. Sure. All right. Why don't we start the show?
All right, hit the button.
Behind home plate, we bringing it to them all day. All day. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Win or lose, we bringing it to you always. Always. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Orange or black, we rebuild the pack. No matter where we at, you know we coming back. Section 336, we on this, so tune in. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Yeah. Welcome to Birdland. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Now, here come the boys from Section 336.
Boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Section 336, Next Generation of Baltimore Sports Talk. I am your endearingly stuttering host, Matt Sroka. As always, I'm joined by the button lover, Josh Sroka.
Hey, Matt. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing well, Josh, doing well. Pumped for the show. Couple things I want to get into.
Yeah, you also just learned a lesson. I just taught you on some basic facts of Major League Baseball.
Josh, I would mess with you. I'm fully aware that no series ever starts on a Saturday. I'm fully aware of this.
You didn't believe me. You went and pulled a schedule so that you could see that series always start on Thursdays or Fridays for weekends.
I just never stopped and thought about the structure of a series and when it starts. I just never thought about it. Yeah. If I really were to stop and kind of map it out, I would realize that I just never really thought about it. And so, yeah, I did check and verify because I said, because we're talking about switching our schedules around. And I said, did the Yankees series start on Friday or did it start on Saturday? And you're like, what are you talking about? Why would it start on Saturday?
Exactly.
And so then I had to scroll through my phone to verify that, yes, no series ever starts on a Saturday. Yeah. You are correct.
Exactly. And
I'm dumb.
You could have just played and accepted with believe in me, but then you got your phone out and was like, checked the entire year trying to find one series to disprove me.
Yeah, that's right. And there's not even an anomaly. I thought surely there's one anomaly, one kind of weird series, but no, there's not.
So we're going live on Facebook, but I don't think many people are watching because the Orioles are playing so far a great game over on Masson.
Yeah. I want to get into this series. I think this is a big series for the Orioles. It's a bigger series for the Yankees than it is for the Orioles, to be honest.
It's a fight for last place.
Yeah, fight for the cellar. So
I mentioned Masson, and real quick. Yeah. We should congratulate Masson for finally getting their app out and getting the website working. I know you used it over the weekend to catch a game.
I did. I more than one game, multiple games by putting in an email and password on the website. So that's cool.
And I downloaded the app on Roku.
Nice.
So Masson and on my iPhone. So it's now out on your iPhone, iPad, and all that as well. So congratulations, Masson. You almost hit your opening day target.
Yeah, and what should have been done about 5 years ago too. Just FYI.
Well, yes, And there's
congrats to doing what everyone's been doing for years.
And I learned last week in the Marlins series that Major League Blackouts still exist, and they're still stupid and make no sense.
Right. They don't. They don't.
So, yep. Especially when it is easier. I don't know if I was on Birdland Tonight after one of the Marlin games. I think I was, and I was explaining that it was easier for me to steal the game on one of these shady sites where you just have to click away from the porn.
Yeah.
Versus everything that I went through to try to legally watch the show.
Oh, yeah, it's a fact. It's a fact. And that's why so many people want to pay to watch the Orioles, but they're not allowed to. It's dumb.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah. It's dumb. But Josh, I want to get to a couple things this week. First of all, I got a new for our ball 4. I got a new Stitch Fix box, and I am not happy at all. I am really? Beyond ticked off. So I want to get to that in the ball 4.
I want to get to that because I haven't signed up yet.
Okay. I'm going to wait to hear this because you may change your mind.
Right.
So don't go to the website
life
yet.
Event to switch.
Yeah.
Waiting for a change.
The other thing is the biggest news of the Orioles this week. No one even talked about. So I want to get to that too.
Okay. We also have some Section 336 news.
Oh, fun.
For our Patreon members.
All right.
We have now, I've been going through the archives of 336, and we've done a buttload of episodes. This is episode number 416, pod 416. But 2 or 3 years, we did 2 episodes a week, Orioles focused and then Ravens focused, and we put them both as the same number. For a year and a half to 2 years, we did dailies without giving them numbers. And we even did something called Casual Fridays, which were 20-minute episodes.
Casual Fridays?
Yeah, Casual Fridays.
I have no recollection of Casual Friday.
I have no recollections of Casual Friday. But so I've been collecting all this stuff. And I'll tell you, for Casual Fridays is what I have no recollection about. And I was pulling them, and I'll just tell you about Casual Fridays.
Well, be careful, Josh, because what happens nowadays is you pull up something you forgot you ever did, and then you end up getting canceled for it. So watch yourself with this stuff.
We did one about going back to school, one about the butterfly effect. We gave the intern a full Casual Friday to defend himself for something. We talked about Madden. And
was Matt Goes to Africa? Was that a Friday episode?
No, that's a bonus episode.
Oh, okay.
We also did bonus episodes, and we did spring training episodes. So all in all, it's about 800 episodes that we've done, or recordings. And not counting the dailies. The dailies probably put it over 1,000. It's a ridiculous number of files that I was downloading.
I think we hit Malcolm Gladwell's 2,000 hours to become a master at something. Yeah.
Yeah, we're masters. Yep. Masters. And
we're consistent.
That does include, we're consistent. And that does include, I've got the backups of our first 10 episodes where we were really bad. And here's what we're going to do for our Patreon members is each week we're going to release a bonus episode on a different feed. I think it's going to be on Thursdays or Fridays, where it's going to be a mix of every now and then we're going to do new episodes. I don't know if we're going to do it once a month or whatever, exclusively for our supporters over on Patreon. But for right now, it's going to be some best ofs from years ago. So like this past week I released an episode about where we kind of did some table topics and general stuff, like a person that you hate. And we talked about a person that you hate. And I don't know, Matt, did you get a chance to hear the episode I put out to Patreon members this past week?
I did not, no.
It's 7 years ago. We recorded it in 2014. And I forgot how much Bert hates this person. And with not much logical reason. You're going to have to listen to the episode.
Oh, well, no, I have to.
Get derailed talking about sea otters. And do you know why we all got excited talking about sea otters?
Oh, I remember sea otters.
And then suddenly really sad and depressed.
I remember something about sea otters, but now I can't.
Yeah. So anyway, that's out now for Patreon members.
All right, cool. Good tease.
So that's the first episode. We talk Halloween, we talk hate, and we talk sea otters and a whole lot more. So check that out. It's the three of us from 7 years ago. Very entertaining. I really enjoyed it and have no memory of doing this episode. So that's what you're going to get. My question for you, Matt, is this coming week, Do we release a casual Friday episode, or do we go with the bonus episode that I think people learn the most about you, because we reference it every now and then, is you dying in Africa?
Yeah,
dying
sure.
in Africa.
Sure, if you want to release that episode, this sets up the whole context for my existence on this planet. So people should know. So yeah, I'm okay with you releasing that one.
You think release that one this week?
Sure.
All right. So right now, these are only for Patreon members. I know Apple announced a support plan, so we'll go down that path. Spotify is apparently working on something. So we'll hit all these. We'll make it so that eventually you can give us your money no matter where you want to be.
That's what we're all
right
about.
Now, it's only going to be on Patreon. Remember, supporting us on Patreon also keeps this show commercial free, but we're going to give you more content out there. That's a big thank you. So going over to section336.com and click support at the top to help us for $3 and get an extra episode a week.
All right, very cool.
All right,
Josh,
there's all the ads and commercials. Let's go.
Right now, the Orioles are in the midst of a little bit of Yankee Spanky action, up 2-0 with 2 runners on in the 4th inning. But Josh, I was looking at this Yankees lineup, and by the way, this series means a lot more for the Yankees than it does for us, because the Yankees are supposed to be good, we're not. So right. The fact that we're both in last place is a bigger deal for them than it is for us.
Yo, totally. Yeah, because the Yankees are supposed to be the best team in baseball.
Yeah,
but the American League.
Oriole fans, and by Oriole fans, I mean myself, have been whining and complaining about our offense. Josh, if you look at the Yankees offense, Stanton batting 183, Judge batting 239, Odor, who they just picked up batting cleanup, batting 167 for them. Gleyber Torres batting 213. Hicks batting 169 for them. Sanchez batting 192. Frazier batting worse than Ryan Mountcastle at 143. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 guys in their lineup tonight. 5 guys in the lineup tonight batting under 200.
Yeah. As we talk, Matt Harvey has faced 4 innings of Yankees, and they have 1 hit. And that's Matt Harvey, who you and I love watching Matt Harvey. But everyone outside of Baltimore thinks he's this washed-up guy. So, and he's getting it done against the New York Yankees.
Yeah, and we talked in our post-game show that Matt Harvey has been average. Yeah. But tonight he's above average, and maybe because he's playing against an offense that's below average right now in the New York Yankees. But I love it so much to see Yankee fans losing their minds. And if we take 2 out of 4 or somehow manage to take 3 out of 4, I can't wait to see the reaction of all the Yankee fans.
Right, because on their radar, well, I don't know who they had the weekend, but they saw this weekend as a bounce back, and then they say, 4 games against the Orioles, that's when we get out of the cellar. That's when we get back into first place. And they have this series circled. Though I tell you what, they're coming off of winning 3 out of 4, but against kind of a weak Cleveland team. And before that, they were getting beat up by Tampa Bay and beat up by Toronto. And so, they're looking at a schedule that involves, here's your schedule, Josh. Tell me how you feel about this as you're a Yankees fan. You had 4 against Cleveland, then you have 4 against the Orioles, and then you play 3 against Detroit. That's a pretty good deal for the Yankees. Yeah.
So the Yankees should come away from this as a 500 baseball team and kind of back to their winning ways. But if we could take 2 out of 4 to kind of stifle their good feeling, right, I would love that.
They're 4 games out of first place. With the games you just announced, they should be able to move right back up into first place.
Yeah, they should. You see this with a lot of divisions early, so I don't want to.
No, the Red Sox are in first place. We made it clear we believe the Red Sox are a bad team. But right now they've been hot.
Well, it's more than that, Josh. If you look at Boston in first place, then you go to the Central. You have the Kansas City Royals in first place.
Another bad team.
Who saw the Royals in first place? And then if you go down to the West, Oakland's in first, which they've been freaking on fire. But then Seattle is 13-9. Sitting with the 3rd best record in the American League is the Seattle Mariners. So it's so early that it's hard to take away anything. Everyone told me that the NL East was the best, division in baseball, but right now only one team, the New York Mets, at 9-8 is above 500. So it's like it's so early that it's hard to take away anything from kind of these early games.
Right,
but it's pretty fun to see the Yankees in last place.
Right. But one thing going into this is the Orioles have had the third toughest schedule in baseball. When you look at who they've had to play this season so far. Okay. But I mean that's what the MLB stats say.
I know, but Josh, you know why one of the reasons they have the toughest schedule in baseball?
Because they play the Yankees and the Red Sox all the time.
Yeah, do you know why else? Do you know who they don't play?
The NL East.
The Baltimore Orioles.
The Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, right? Sure. Because they're one of the worst teams in baseball. And so it's other teams get to play them. And so it makes their schedule easier. We don't get to play ourselves. So we're at a disadvantage schedule-wise.
I know. I get that. But it's also that we're in the AL East.
Yeah, sure.
So you're always going to see the Orioles having one of the toughest.
And we play the NL East this year, right? And the NL East is good.
Yeah, except for the Nats. Really hope we can play the Nats before they start getting good.
Well, the Nats are – what is happening? I mean, I don't want to get super into it, but the Nats are weird because they got John Lester, who has some kind of COVID thing, hasn't pitched at all for him.
Right.
They got Corbin, who was a great pitcher, helped them win the World Series, starting and coming out of the bullpen. His ERA has been like 15 this year. Strasburg's hurt, and so all they have left is Scherzer. So it's pretty, I would say, sad, but also entertaining what's happening.
But it's also
watching them fall apart.
Even last year, the Nationals do this where they look horrible, and then they'll get a hot streak going, and then they look horrible. They're always been such a hot and cold team. Yeah,
and part of this is because the injury stuff with the Nats. But you're right. Even the year that they won the World Series, for half the year they looked terrible, and then they caught fire. But yeah, right now the Orioles are sitting at 9-12, and I know we got a tough stretch coming, but I feel pretty good about sitting at 9-12, and I like the way our team has played. The state of the Orioles for me is up even at 9-12. I'm pretty optimistic right now.
No, I agree. I'm really been happy with this team. The offense was really frustrating. Thankfully, they kind of put it together yesterday and got some hits and some walks, which kind of removes that bad taste from your mouth. We can deal with a short whatever memory and just think about the fact that they did well on Sunday. Earlier in this game, Freddie Galvez got pulled, being hurt. He hit a double and had to stop running, going to second base, and then they pulled him after the inning. Are you concerned about that?
I didn't see the injury. I don't know how bad it is. I don't know what the reports are.
It looked like it reminded me of when Austin Hayes got hurt with like just a pulled groin running type thing, or pulled hamstring or something.
Hey, listen, I would call that any injury to Freddie Galvez. And I know a week ago you were calling for Freddie Galvez to be replaced by Richie Martin.
And then it got hot.
But I would call an injury to Freddie Galvez devastating. Because
devastating is a really big word.
Devastating, Josh, because who's playing shortstop if you don't have Freddie Galvez? Urias is going over there, and then you have Urias and Ruiz as your shortstop and second base.
Yeah. You know who's coming up. You know who's coming up. It's time.
What, Richie Martin?
It's time for some Richie Martin time in Baltimore.
Yeah. I want that 215 guy on my team. Right. Guy hitting 215 on my team. No, like I think Freddie Galvez has been arguably our second best offensive player on this team so far this year, behind Cedric Mullins. And so I think any injury to him, what he adds defensively and offensively, especially not because I think he's better than Austin Hayes or Santander, but because we just have zero depth at the shortstop position.
Correct.
That's why the injury hurts. And I don't want to see Urias play every day. I'm already mad he plays as much as he does.
I agree. Yeah, that's fine. So do you want to talk anything about this bad offense in Mountcastle? Like, I saw today that Mountcastle is now 1 for the last 27 at-bats with 7 strikeouts. Do you know that exact stat line is what Cedric Mullins hit when they sent him down to Project Bowie? Same stat line, 1 for 27 with 7 strikeouts. They sent him to Project Bowie, and that worked for him. Yeah. So we talked a little bit about this on Birdland tonight. You guys can go back and check Saturday and Sunday. Great episodes with Matt and I. But Project Bowie, is that a chance for Mountcastle this week?
Well, of course it's a chance, but a couple things you have to keep in mind is, first of all, I hit a double tonight, so that's encouraging.
Yes.
Yeah. But we know this guy can hit, right? Like, we know it wasn't like Cedric Mullins we when he was sent down to Project Bowie, we thought maybe we would never see him again, right? Like we thought it was possible that Cedric Mullins was done.
Oh yeah, we thought he was done as an Oriole. Yes.
Yeah, like he could play in the minors for a few more years and then just kind of, be done. I never that has not even entered my mind as a possibility for Ryan Mountcastle. So any trip to Project Bowie for Ryan Mountcastle feels like, a 2-week kind of vacation where he gets kind of resets. Because the thing I worry about Ryan Mountcastle is I don't worry about his swing. He still seems to be making good contact. You worry some about the confidence. We saw this happen, yes. I feel like with Trey Mancini maybe 3 years ago, where he got into a season-long rut where he just couldn't get out of his own way. And Mancini's been open and talking about that, about kind of the mental struggle of
and we know,
slumping.
Out of all the sports, baseball, maybe golf but as far as team sports, nothing is mentally as disabling as it can be in baseball.
Yeah. And so I think you saw Hyde give Mountcastle the other day the day off to kind of reset. He did the same thing with Mancini, and Mancini seemed to bounce back from that pretty well. We've also seen Mountcastle being moved down in the lineup, right? He was up in the middle lineup. Now he's been moved closer to, the 6 and 7 hole.
Right. And but that's not to help him. That's to help the team.
Oh, I think it's also to help him. So he doesn't feel like he needs to kind of drive in runs and hit like a 4-hole hitter, right? Like there's just less pressure on a 7-hole hitter than a 4-hole hitter. But at the same time, yeah, you don't want a guy 1 for 27 hitting your 4-hole. So I think both those things are true. So is it possible that he goes to Project Bowie for a couple of weeks if he continues to struggle? Yes, but it's also, I think, a deal where they're going to look for reasons to keep him on the Orioles and not send to Project Bowie, right? So if he has
the double today, not happening today.
If he had a walk the other night, if he shows patience, makes good contact, even if the results aren't there, if he's making good contact, if he's having good at bats, I think it's much more likely that he stays in Baltimore than he gets sent to Project Bowie. But it is possible.
I can buy that. That makes a lot of sense, especially with the double and when you have a spot for him in your lineup right now.
Yeah, like especially now. I mean, I don't know what happened with Galvez, but like if Mancini, if you send him down now, who's gonna come up in his place?
Well, right. I don't think you would bring someone up in his place because you already have McKenna up here. Yeah,
well, you had for the roster spot, you would want another bench spot. I would assume you bring someone up.
Right. Yeah, good point. And we don't have, now that Stewart's up here, McKenna's up here.
Yeah.
For now, we don't have spots. At some point, Santander is going to be ready to come back. And that should be in a few days.
Yep. And so maybe if he can use a struggle and Santander is ready to come up, like maybe that makes sense.
Maybe you let McKenna stay. Right.
Yeah.
But again, McKenna's a guy who isn't expecting much. And I think it's been interesting to watch this weekend how the Orioles used those options with pitchers, with the Zach Lother coming up. Then they brought him up as kind of an emergency situation, still ended up using him in a blowout game, and then sent him down today to make sure they had a fresh arm. So clearly they're trying to use this position for an extra arm in the bullpen for this one slot, which is really the Dean Kramer slot.
Yeah. Yeah, while you kind of wait for D. Kramer to come back, you can be a little silly with. And I actually, with Jay Flaw being caught up today and Zach Lother being sent down, I'm surprised there hasn't been more of this kind of manipulation because you have a bunch of guys like Zach Lother and Jay Flaw that you can just continue to send up and send down. And so I'm actually surprised it took this long to kind of start this nonsense.
Yeah, it's the Norfolk shuttle. It's what we talked about a lot with the Dan Duquette era.
Yeah.
I think I didn't expect it with Lother because I feel like front offices have been so hesitant about those options. But I guess you can only use one option a year.
Right. So you can do this as many times as you want.
So you kind of figure, well, we can hold on to Lother, but we're really going to send him down once Kramer comes up. So let's go back and forth all season now.
Yes.
So it's not really a wasted option.
No. And I think like Elias has talked about this before. Hyde has talked about this before. We've talked about this before. Last year, no one pitched or there was very few innings thrown. And so this year, no one's going to throw 200 innings. So you're going to spread guys out. You're going to spread out those innings. You do stupid stuff like give Means an extra day rest, not because he needs it, but because it's a long season, and you want to kind of have him for as long as you can. And so Zach Lother will get a chance. A bunch of guys are going to get a chance to throw this year.
There's a lot of talk in baseball about how they don't know how to go from a 60-game series to a 162-game series with pitchers. I don't buy it. I think it's a bunch of crap. These pitchers have been pitching their entire life.
Yeah.
When they're working out on their own things during the off seasons, I think it's a load of crap. But whatever, somehow everyone in baseball has decided this is a talking point, and we're going to be sensitive about our pitchers.
I know, and to say they only threw 60 innings as like they never threw at all on the side or in simulation games,
right?
Or at home, like this is the only time that they threw is in these 60 innings. I agree with you.
And that's where I always think. That's where I always think pitch count is funny. Because they'll say, oh, he's got 72 pitches. But it's like, well, I saw him throw 4 pitches to warm up between every inning. What about the 3 throws to first base? What about this,
Yeah.
Like, there's been a whole lot of motion on that arm that you did not count.
Yeah.
72 pitches when really, if I counted every time his arm went over his shoulder and he released the ball, then you're up to like 87 or something,
Yeah, like it gets dumb when you think about it. Like what's worse? Someone who throws 120 pitches but there was 5 innings the entire year, every start, or someone who throws 9 innings but only throws 90 pitches, right?
Exactly.
Like obviously the person throwing less innings and more pitches, it's harder on his arm than the person throwing more innings and less pitches because it's about pitches. But no one counts pitches; they just count the innings. So yeah, it's kind of silly.
Yep.
But we'll see. Like I'm curious to see, like because it seems like front offices are paranoid about arm injuries, right? And I'm curious to see, if second half of the season you get an arm injury or two, if, a lot of GMs, especially on rebuilding teams like Baltimore, will say, oh, okay, John Means we're done. We're just going to shut you down because we're nervous and we'll just go get him next year. Like, I'm curious if that becomes a thing where teams, especially not in contention, just start shutting down guys, shutting them down to save their arms for next season. I think it's certainly something to watch after the All-Star break.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was trying to look up. Did you see the in the Braves game yesterday? Did you see the no-hitter that didn't count as a no-hitter?
Yeah, by Madison Bumgarner, sure.
Yeah, that's who I was looking up. Who it was? Do you feel he got gypped because he had to pitch one of these stupid 7-inning doubleheaders? So because he pitched 7 innings and no hit, it doesn't go down as no hit.
Yeah, I guess. If I was making the rules, I would call it a no-hitter.
I feel like baseball has had different changes over the years that I have no problem with it's a complete game, no-hitter, give him the credit.
I think the rule is, right, what if there's a 5-inning and then there's a rain delay and the game gets called after 5 innings or something?
Right.
Well, that's not it. But to me, if the game is designed to go 7 innings and you throw the 7 innings and don't give up a hit, like that's a complete game no-hitter to me.
Yeah, and it's the rules of the baseball this year. Just like it was last year, it's the rules of the game.
The players don't make the rules. And so if you go and kind of throw the whole game, the 7 innings, that's the game's designed to do it, and don't give up a hit, for me, that's a no-hitter.
Yeah, me too.
But either way, Madison Bumgarner, yeah. I don't think it's a huge deal, but Josh, do you see any? We've had a rotation here, pretty stable here. Assuming Kramer returns, we still got Zimmerman and Harvey and Jorge Lopez and Means. We saw a sneak peek at Zach Lother. Do you anticipate the start rotation? Is anyone pitching for their jobs right now, or do you think this rotation is pretty a set 5-man rotation?
This rotation has been great. These 5 guys have been better than expected, better than advertised, more than what I need from these guys. I believe before the whole...
I would say with one exception.
Well, Wade LeBlanc, but we already sent him down.
Jorge Lopez.
Is Lopez in the rotation? Yeah, he is. He's the 5th guy. All right, Lopez has brought that number down a little bit, yes. But before this, why do I not even think of Lopez as in the rotation? He's the 4th guy. He's the 4th guy.
Yeah, he was great for one
Zimmerman
start.
Lopez, yeah.
And has kind of struggled on his other starts.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But I know they had an ERA of like 2 after before like the Wade LeBlanc thing, like starting rotations. It was a great ERA the week before.
Yeah, but the good thing about Wade LeBlanc is, Josh, it didn't hurt the reliever ERA because he started the game, even though he was a reliever for us. The fact that he started his game, gave all the runs, didn't impact the reliever ERA.
It didn't hurt our bullpen ERA.
So it might have hurt the starter ERA, but it didn't hurt the bullpen ERA.
All right. This Jay, is it Flaw or Flaw?
Flaw.
That we brought up today. Do you know much about him?
I know he's 28 years old. I know he's kind of a career minor leaguer. I know he had a 10 strikeout per inning ratio, or strikeout per 9 inning ratio. That's kind of all.
How did he end up with the Orioles, and how did he end up at this alt site?
I think I want to say he's been with the minor league team for the past couple of years. I can look up his info, but
because they had to add him to the 40-man in order to bring him up today.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's an interesting move.
Yeah, and they said they brought him up because he was well rested and he's a reliever and he can throw multiple innings.
Right. But I assume it's also that they believe he can be a major league bullpen arm.
Oh yeah, he goes all the way back with the Orioles to 2015. Yeah, so he's been with his whole career with the Orioles. Yeah.
Okay, so he's been with the Orioles. He just hasn't made it up here yet.
Yeah. So he pitched. He pitched a season at Delmarva. Then he threw in Frederick in 2017. Was at Bowie in 2018, and then 2019 he pitched for Bowie and Norfolk. So yeah, he's kind of paid his dues and worked his way up the minor league system.
So what type of expectations should I be having for this kid?
Oh, I think he will pitch. He will not pitch in a close game. He will pitch in a game that's not close when you need an arm. And he will be here until Kramer comes back.
So he's a younger Wade LeBlanc.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think
it's give him a chance, see what happens. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think he's going to be an up and down yo-yo guy. I think he's going to be a yo-yo guy up and down when you need a guy to go a couple innings. And he's well rested, bring him up. I think there's a handful of guys like that, and he's one of them.
So, all right, so he's one of our yo-yo guys.
Yeah.
All right. Is that the new name for your Norfolk shuttle? We're now calling that
the yo-yo guys. Yeah. Yeah, and I know it annoys you that Zach Lother's a yo-yo guy too.
Yeah, it does.
Zach Lother's a yo-yo guy.
Because I wanted Zach Lother to be the guy to get the start instead of Wade LeBlanc.
I know.
So I got really, really irritated on that Saturday.
I know, but
rightfully so.
Well, I don't know. I think
myself rightfully so. Yes.
I think that you think Zach Lother is better than he is. Like I think you think Zach Lother is one of our top arms, and
he's number 11 in our top prospects.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I
think his ceiling though. I think if his ceiling would be like a 4th or 5th starter, right? If everything works out well.
Okay, that's fine.
But yeah, I would rather have Zach Lother start than Jorge Lopez. Right now.
That's the thing. When you're saying Lopez is struggling as a 4th, Wade LeBlanc sucked as a filler gap, I'd like to see Zach Lother get a start. But then just like Keegan Aiken, the big news this week was Keegan Aiken was going to get his start.
Yeah.
Until he chopped his finger off or something.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me at all. Not that he chopped his finger off, but that those kind of freak injuries. I'm surprised they don't happen more. I was walking outside the other day.
Baseball players.
I don't know why it doesn't happen to other athletes. I was walking outside with my kids. I just stepped off the deck at my house. It was like a 1 foot drop, and I sprained my ankle, and I could barely walk for the next 2 days. And I was like, what if I'm a major league pitcher and I had to start the next day? Like I couldn't do it. I couldn't put any weight on my ankle.
Right.
And just stepping down off my porch. And so I don't know. I'm surprised this stuff doesn't actually happen more often.
I've been my childhood was always scarred by Pete Harnish stepping on that nail at the Sky Dome, so he didn't get his start in that magical '89 Orioles season. Which, as a kid, I didn't even realize, and I learned recently that the reason he stepped on a nail is because the Sky Dome was basically still a construction site. It had just opened a couple weeks earlier, and they were still doing work on it.
Yeah.
So that's where the nail came from that Pete Harnish stepped on.
Is that worse than Abaldo Jimenez stepped in a pothole?
Yes, because the one was convenient,
but actually good,
and good, yeah, and the other really hurt the Orioles because Pete was having a good season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good. I'm going to make a note of that. A good little bonus show or something would be baseball freak injuries and rank some baseball freak injuries.
Yeah, I bet even we just look at the Orioles and narrow it down. I bet there's. I'm trying to think of because I have some on the tip of my tongue. I just can't think about some of these kind of freak injuries that happen, even just to Oriole players throughout the year, outside of
not on the ball field. Like Caleb Joseph, that's a bad injury, but that happened on a ball field.
Yeah, I mean, I think of this is a prank, but when Darren O'Day was riding his unicycle or whatever it was, that thing he's riding,
the Unawheel or something,
the Unawheel, and Buck Showalter came out there saying, "That's not too smart, Darren. That's not too smart. You get hurt out here."
Yeah, or who was the baseball player that was like walking down the stairs and slipped or tripped and fell like on his back or on the stairs?
You're thinking of Sergio Kindle, the Ravens draft pick.
No, that's a different guy. I don't forget. Yeah. And who was it? Was it Zach Wheeler that hurt himself putting on his pants and he fell over last year? I think he was putting pants on and fell.
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds about right. But there's it seems for some reason baseball has this stuff more than other sports.
Yeah, it does. And maybe it's because baseball plays 162 games a year. So during the season, there's games almost every day where if a football player falls down the stairs, it doesn't have to be a public story unless he can't go in 5 or 6 days from now,
Yeah. Yeah, or like John Means, who gives up 50 runs in a spring training game and blames on a vaccine shot.
Oh, I don't know. I got my vaccine shot last week, and my arm was like hurting for 3-4 days.
Oh, really?
Just sore and tight. So I can understand that. I hope they see. As any pitchers in baseball, when they got their vaccine shot, they better have gotten it on their glove arm. If I was the pitching coach, I'd be out there as they're getting the shot saying, not that arm, other arm, because you got to remind these guys because they're not smart. Don't get it on your pitching arm.
Yeah. Well, Emily, I got it in my left arm. Emily said I should have got it in my right arm because she said you should get it in your arm that's more active or something so you can, I don't know, it resistance better or something.
That's
I don't know.
Smart because I got mine in my left arm also. Because I said I don't use that arm. It can be dead.
But maybe your right arm has more muscles built up or something, so it can resist it more. I don't know.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Do I get the second shot in the same arm, or can I get one in each arm?
I mean, you can do whatever arm that you give him. It doesn't matter.
All right, then maybe I'll go right arm next time.
Hey, speaking of which, can we get to what I think has been the biggest news Orioles?
Yeah, that nobody's talking about.
That no one's talking about.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm talking about, Josh?
Apparently not.
What's the biggest news that came out of the Orioles this week?
This week, the biggest news that came out with the Orioles.
It was reported. I first read the tweet by Jim Callis.
Site.
What's that?
Mike Elias saying that he doesn't care about performances at the alternative site.
No, it was a tweet by Jim Callis.
All right, I have no idea.
All right, this is April. This is April 20th. This is a tweet. 4:57 p.m. Where were you 4:57 p.m. on April 20th when this tweet was sent out? Source. This is a tweet. Source. 2020 number 2 overall pick Hurston Kjerstad has been cleared medically and will report to the Orioles alternate site in Bowie tomorrow. Will take months-long rebuild up to return to game action after a long layoff to rest and treat myocarditis.
All right.
So Kjerstad's back. That's the news. Kjerstad has finally reported to Project Bowie almost a year after he was drafted. He's finally putting on an Orioles uniform or putting on a uniform a year after he was drafted.
All right. Sorry, I got distracted. Austin Hayes just took a ball to the hand.
All right.
And
how about you turn
looking at him and we can't afford for Austin Hayes to be hurt again.
Yeah.
So, all right. Here's the problem. I think that tweet happened on 420, and he might have been partaking in a little substance in order to think that Kjerstad is coming back to Bowie.
Yeah. Well, apparently he's there now, Josh. Apparently, if you go to Bowie, you'll see him there. He's been there. He's there for a week.
You act like he's like a mascot, like a circus. Go take a peek. Look, he's there.
Yeah,
you can see.
So
no, that's great news. I'm glad he's healthy. I'm glad he's getting back. Again, it's a guy we've never gotten to see on the baseball field because of COVID, and hopefully we can see him in some minor league games this year.
Yep. So I think the plan will be he'll stay at Project Bowie until a week or so until the Bowie games start, and then I assume he'll go to Sarasota for more rehab and stuff because you've been off for a year. And then I expect he'll make his way I would anticipate to the Shorebirds and play for the Shorebirds. And so I'm going to check him out there in June or July sometime.
They could bump him to the Ironbirds too. I don't know how the restructuring now is between the two single A's.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if they treat him like they did.
Did Adley play at the Shorebirds, or did he go straight to?
Well, he started at the Ironbirds.
Ironbirds, yeah.
When the Ironbirds was kind of rookie league ball.
Right. But
then he went to
college before. He also had college level play. Kersted's younger than him, right?
No, they're same.
Okay. So Kersted.
They both played college.
Right. So they could do a little fast track based on the college ball.
Yes. So there's Aberdeen is now what Frederick was. So
single A.
Yeah, high single A.
Okay, so that's high A.
And Delmarva is still low single A.
Low A, so he'll go to Delmarva. That makes sense.
Yeah, and I think he could graduate from there and go to high A if they want to fast track him. That's kind of what they did with Adley Rutschman. But yeah, right. I mean, I imagine he'll play his first minor league game around the same time that we draft our next player around the major league draft.
Yeah.
So it's good to have him back. It's really kind of crazy and unfortunate that it took a year to get him here.
I'd love to hear his story. Hopefully he shares this story publicly.
Dan Connolly, go get on that.
Good point. That's where you're going to read it. Well, yeah, Connolly in The Athletic.
Yeah,
that's the only people writing nice articles like that.
Yeah, they're the only team who do the long form. Yeah,
right. So speaking of the minor leagues, I this week bought my tickets to see the Norfolk Tide on May 8th. I'm going to go see the Norfolk Tide.
Oh, is that the first game?
Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. No, the first game is like May 5th. I haven't gotten tickets for that yet. I probably will, but I picked up the Saturday night tickets. You know how much a minor league ticket costs for general admission for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp?
I would say $12.
$5.
All right, nice.
For a Saturday night. So I bought a few.
Nice.
So
cool.
I'm hoping to see Adley. I haven't seen Adley yet.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he'll be with the Tide then.
I had the honor of seeing Adley at the Delmarva Shorebirds and buying a jersey. So I plan on getting his jersey at every level.
Okay, as the numbers change.
Yeah. So yeah. So I hope. What's the next step for him? I don't know. I guess he'll start at Aberdeen. No, he'll start at Bowie. I don't know. I don't know if he'll start at Aberdeen or
Norfolk.
Bowie. He won't be at Norfolk.
Yeah, he will.
No, he won't.
Yeah, he will.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
Want to bet? I think he's starting at Norfolk.
No, I bet he starts at Bowie.
In that case, I won't see him at this Tides game.
Not yet. I think he'll be at Norfolk at some point, probably. Though Zach Lother, right, another guy who never pitched AAA and got his first appearance in the majors without ever pitching for AAA. Yeah,
but we see that with pitchers a lot, where pitchers will skip. We see other players too, but especially pitchers, it seems, will skip because Bowie is so convenient to Camden Yards.
Well, and this year's weird, right? If minor league games have started already, he would be in AAA, and he would not have skipped, right? Even if I think if we had a season last year,
maybe so,
he would have played AAA, so he would not have skipped.
Right, and that's the weird thing. If Adley skips AA, it's because of treating last year as his AA season.
Right. Hey, this is completely off topic.
Okay, but we've been so good at staying on topic today.
All right, maybe I should just save this for.
You're gonna ask me if you can take a baseball bat on an airplane?
No,
we figured that out during the pre-show.
No, you'd have to be an idiot to even look that up. I was going to ask you about the Ravens draft. The football NFL draft is Thursday.
It is. We're doing
how many mock drafts have you participated in thus far, Josh? In anticipation of the draft.
Have you been paying attention? The Orioles season's fun. I haven't paid attention at all to this draft. I am surprised the draft's already here. I don't care. I'll do it. I'm doing a live draft show with Film Study on Thursday night. But and I love that the Ravens have a bunch of draft picks. I like the move of trading Orlando Brown Jr. away this week to get more draft picks. I'm all for that. But my focus has been on the black and orange.
Shots fired. All right.
So, what, are you getting excited for the draft?
I'm excited for the draft. I always enjoy watching the draft. I think all the pregame the pre-week draft predictions are so dumb.
Yes,
but I
so
think
is
it's
the 2 months. All right,
Yeah.
part of it might be that by this time I'm burned out on draft stuff because of film study, and we've been doing draft conversations for 2 months now.
Yeah, I just don't think there's any way to predict it well. And like I just always remember the person a few years ago when Marlon Humphrey was drafted. I don't know if there was a draft that was more hated by Ravens fans because they wanted O.J. Howard and there was other guys that they wanted, offensive playmakers, and they drafted this boring cornerback who they didn't know if they was going to be very good. And he turned in, just to be, the best cornerback in all of football.
Yeah, not too
and
bad.
so I just think like nobody knows, and everyone acts like they know who's going to be good, and they just miss so often that I'm entertained by the show itself. But everyone telling me, I want this guy, I want this guy, I want this guy. Well,
when you don't,
I think you're wrong because even the NFL teams are get it wrong so often.
Yeah, there's lots of excitement down here.
Oh yeah, because you guys getting Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, so we're going to get Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
it's pretty much just a decision. I've got friends down here that have hopped on board and already ordered their season tickets because they want to get there for the Trevor Lawrence experience. Because the Jags have 8 picks in the first round or something ridiculous.
Do they? Yeah, they have a bunch of picks.
They've got a bunch of picks, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to be back to the Super Bowl." Someone told me, "What's going to happen first? The Jags win the Super Bowl or the Orioles win the World Series?" I told him I think the Orioles, but I said the Jags need to get a Super Bowl within 5 years or it's a total bust, the way that the organization's rebuilding.
Well, and you see NFL teams go last to first all the time. I mean, it's just a more competitive league where you have more balance, where baseball is just a lot harder to win because the length of the season and I think salary cap and all that stuff.
And I think football, if you draft a quarterback in the first round, doesn't matter about the rest of your team. You're expected to win within 3 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure. I think that's fair. Especially when you're talking about someone like Trevor Lawrence, who, people have insane hope for this guy.
But as far as the Ravens, I'm totally in the mindset that I just trust whatever they do. The front office of the Ravens have been so good for so long that I just trust whatever they do.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm of the opinion that as far as things that I think I want the Ravens to address, and they have a lot of needs, but I'm of the mindset the most important need to address is offensive line. Yep. So if they spend both picks on offensive linemen, I'll be thrilled. If they draft a wide receiver, I'm going to be a little bit annoyed. I think their wide receiver issues are more scheme and not as much talent. And I just keep on remembering what happened against the Bills. Just Lamar Jackson laying in the end zone after getting crushed by 5 Bills defenders. That I just hope they get the offensive line straight. And I don't even care if they don't take any wide receivers if they get the offensive line straight.
I'm more intrigued on the Ravens side with the conversations of how do you mix up the offense?
Yeah.
And how do you
scheme-wise
make scheme-wise?
Yeah, I agree.
And that all starts with the offensive line. So I'm totally with you that the offensive line is the most important in the draft.
And just so much less risk with an offensive line, and we swung and missed enough with the wide receivers, and it's just less risky to go to the offensive line.
Right. I'm all for bringing free agent wide receivers because none of that matters if you don't have the stable line.
Yep,
you can
I
have
agree.
the fastest guy, but if he can't get down the field without your quarterback panicking about getting hurt, it's pointless.
And I think Lamar Jackson's good enough to dance back there with a good offensive line, and our running is good enough that he'll make. I mean, he'll make the guys we have, Mark Andrews, and Hollywood Brown and Duvernay and Watkins, like he'll make that work even if we had no one else. I think he'll make that work if he gets enough time back there.
I agree with you.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I think this was I was trying to bring it back to Orioles, but I think we covered the Orioles really well. The way they are right now, it's kind of this is the normal pattern of now it's the hard part of the season. We're a month in almost.
Hey, yeah. Listen, it becomes a situation where every week you look and you say, okay, I'm curious to see where this team will be a week from now, right?
Yep.
Like after we play, after we go up against the Yankees for 4 games, and then after that we got again Oakland for 3 games.
Yeah.
And then so when we do this show Monday, after 4 games of Yankees, 3 games of Oakland, we come to show Monday. If we're sitting at the same spot, 3 games under 500, I'm thrilled.
Exactly. And I don't care that that's 5th place.
Right.
I care about progression and all that. Because I don't expect to win the AL East, so it doesn't matter if I'm in 4th or 5th.
But I care about being competitive.
Yes.
Because that means your young players, and we have a bunch of young players now on the team, both pitching and hitting. That means the young players are playing well if you can stay competitive. And we're at the point in the rebuild where we shouldn't be losing 110 games. We shouldn't be going out there and being embarrassed. We shouldn't have those LeBlanc games very often. Like we're at the stage in the rebuild where we should be competitive.
Right. Saturday was an embarrassment, and we knew it was going to be an embarrassment before the game even started. As long as we avoid games like that, I'm good.
Yeah, and I feel like so far this year, that's been really the only embarrassing game. Was that
Totally.
Yeah.
Everything else has been all right. You want to get into a little ball 4?
Yeah, all I really have is Stitch Fix as my ball 3 and 4.
All right. So you talked about Stitch Fix a few weeks ago. I think 3 or 4 weeks ago on ball 4, and
it was a month ago. I get it every month, I think. So I probably did.
You were telling me how great Stitch Fix is. I then learned that every family member of ours gets Stitch Fix, and I'm behind the times. And you were praising it. I didn't sign up yet, but you convinced me on that show. So what happened to your Stitch Fix this week?
Well, first of all, on Friday last week, I wore my Stitch Fit outfit for the first time to school.
Okay.
I had a student said I had drip. I had drip, Josh, he said. He said something.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know what drip is.
I think it was a good thing.
Drip?
Yeah, because he said it in a way that felt complimentary. And I've never had someone say that. I had 3 other people, Josh. No one's ever commented on my clothing.
I want some
3
drip.
other people made nice comments about my clothing.
Okay.
Which I think is a sign of 2 things. 1, that Stitch Fit outfit was nice. 2, that I have a reputation for not wearing nice things, and everyone knows it. I think both those things are true.
Help me out with this Urban Dictionary. Yeah. I looked up drip. Yes. An adjective to describe your outfit, similar to saying swag, sauce, steez, or swank.
This is like
any of those other words?
This is like when I have my kids do vocabulary.com, and it gives them 4 options to get the word, and they're like, Mr. Soroka, I have no idea what the 4 clues are to get the answer. So no, I don't know what any of those words are to tell me what the word means. So we're right back where we started. But no, it's a good thing, right. Josh. Okay.
Swank. I clicked on swank. It means extremely cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So people thought I was extremely cool.
All right.
People thought
that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I want drip.
All right. Well, I would advise you to not wear what I'm wearing today. My Orioles Hawaiian shirt. I don't think this qualifies as drip.
That did not come in your Stitch Fix.
No, this did not come in Stitch Fix.
So what was your problem with Stitch Fix? You seemed like you had a negative take this week.
Yeah. So I got it today. I got my second box today.
All right.
And
so I opened you with box 1.
Yeah, I open it up, Josh. There's this beautiful jacket. There's these gray jeans that I put on, and it felt like I was wearing a freaking cloud. I'm going to sleep in those jeans tonight. There was a beautiful white button-up shirt with some little black dots on it, which would go great with the coat that they sent as well, and a nice feeling T-shirt as well.
I feel like the price tag is going to be the problem here,
Josh. Here's the problem.
I know. You're wearing an Oriole shirt. That shows how much you spend on money.
Half my wardrobe is Oriole giveaways. Yeah. I'm a working man. I'm an educator. I'm not.
All right, so it is money. All right, here we go.
I'm not bringing in the money. No, but Josh, it's diabolical because they take me, who have never even tried on. I would never be in a situation where I would try on, a $70 shirt. I'm not in that situation where I would never do that.
No, I don't go in those stores.
Yes, I certainly don't try on stuff in those stores. I don't even window shop those stores. I don't even go to the website in those stores.
I honestly don't even know what those stores
I don't even know the name brands of those stores.
Right.
If I'm spending $70 on a shirt, it's like Under Armour or something. I don't know the name of these other kind of style brands.
All right. I think I spent $70 on a shirt at the Men's Warehouse.
Okay. So I put on these clothes, Josh.
All right.
And they make everything I have in my wardrobe look and feel like garbage.
Okay.
They feel so freaking good. They look amazing.
How do we not get a 336 promo code? I know we don't do commercials, but you've been praising Stitch Fix.
But Josh, I can't I mean, the jacket's like
how much was the box?
The whole box. They do a thing where if you buy the whole box,
yeah, they give you a discount or whatever.
You get 25% off.
All right, so buy the whole outfit. How much?
With the discount?
Yeah, sure.
$250
for one outfit.
For it's 2 button-up shirts, kind of like a casual shirt.
All right.
A jacket and a pair of jeans.
So 3 shirts, a jacket, and a pair of jeans. That doesn't sound too bad, actually.
All right.
I mean,
well, I'm a working man.
The jeans are probably $100. The jacket's probably $75.
No, the jacket was $150.
Oh, well, there's your answer. Get rid of the jacket.
But then, Josh, the discount is $100 with the 25% off. So that's like the jacket.
So now it's the jacket's $50.
Yeah, so they get you, Josh. They get you. And I can't get it. And Josh, I can't not like I already hanged it all up in my closet. And I'm still mad about it because it just feels so good. I have to buy it all. So I have to. I get a box every month. I'm delaying the next box. I have to delay the next box because I'm gonna get it all when the next box
comes. Do they have
comes.
like a 2-month package?
They have. You can get whenever you want. So I'm just gonna delay the next box for a couple more weeks. But because it all is so freaking nice, and I can't afford it, I'm gonna have like a $10,000 wardrobe by the end of the year if I keep on doing this stuff.
All right. I'm gonna invest maybe this summer.
All right, but be prepared, Josh. I
gotta save some money so that I can get some nice clothes.
Yeah, and don't just think that because it's all going to be. And I don't know. My girl's Victoria, and by the way, she gives you a note. Victoria is my stylist.
Okay.
And I gave her feedback on my last one. What's that?
Did Victoria take care of both boxes for you?
Yes, she's my girl. And last time I was like those mud jeans. I was like, that's a little bit much with the color. Like that's pushing me a little bit, Victoria. Okay. You're pushing me with that mud jeans. And she sent me a pair of nice gray jeans. Okay. And she sent the note saying, I got your message last time. But I wonder, Josh, also about Stitch Fix.
Yeah, Victoria's some fat man.
That's what I wonder. I just watched that episode of Seinfeld where they had this lady Chang was on the phone talking to people, and people listened to her because they thought she was Chinese, and it turns out she was just American. She was not Chinese at all. And shoot, I thought I was getting advice from a Chinese woman.
Isn't that the whole I don't know, like sex phone operators?
Yeah, really.
Like I don't
old perverts.
I don't know if that industry still is around, but it was. I remember as we were kids, that's what all the infomercials were at night.
Yeah, no, but that's what I want to FaceTime Victoria to kind of get a feel for, because if she's picking out my style and she's hip and cool, but it's like you go to a hair cuttery and you get someone who has crazy hair, you don't want them cutting your hair. That's what I want to make sure Victoria has good style. But I mean, I really like Victoria a lot, and I'm not going to say I'm going to leave my wife and marry her, but I really like the feedback Victoria's given me. So yeah, I'm thrilled with Stitch Fix.
For a better discount.
Well, it depends. We can get up to 50%. We can talk here.
You brought up hair cuttery. I went to hair cuttery this week. I never go to hair cuttery, but my place has weird hours because of COVID. So hair cuttery's open late. So I went. I sat in the chair. The first thing the lady asks is if I want to dye my hair.
Really?
Get rid of the grays.
Oh, I thought like blue or something. Shoot, no.
And then she shaved my head, and I looked down at the smock, covered with gray hairs.
Oh my!
I had more gray hairs than I've ever noticed when I went to the hair cuttery this week.
Oh my!
So I might have to get to that point. Maybe Victoria, especially if I'm buying some Stitch Fix clothes, I might have to dye the hair as well.
Oh my! No, I think the gray is classy, but that's crazy that she asked you about it. Oh my!
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my ball 4, I got 2. I'll just go with 1 today.
Yeah, I got nothing else. I'm done.
All right. MLB The Show. I got the new one.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I want to know what you think about it.
I've never played a video game where I know who the person is on how the video game character's face looks. I've got it on the PS5. The graphics are so good that I recognize the players while playing the video game. Not based on their numbers or names on the jerseys,
names, numbers,
but their
just their face. That's crazy.
And the facial moves that they make when Mancini's upset and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's Trey. It's really weird.
We've come a long way from our bad baseball.
Yeah, I know I'm playing a video game, but the graphics are good enough that they've put detail into facial structure. And it's not, I can kind of see that almost looks like Brandon Hyde. It's Brandon Hyde's in my stupid video game.
Is that a PS5 thing, or do you think that same effect will be in PS4?
I don't know, because I assume it's better on the PS5.
Yeah, sure.
But I also
Is the gameplay the same as the as MLB The Show, last year's MLB The Show?
Yeah, you can have different options, but yeah, it's all the same. But it's got all the current players, which is nice. And what's cool is I've been playing online against people, including a 336er I played with this week.
Oh, nice.
Whose name I'm blanking at the moment, but I enjoyed playing with him. And you can play against people on the PS4 with my PS5, and I didn't even realize this, the show is now out on Xbox.
Yeah, it's on Xbox. Yeah, it's about time.
So you can play against people on the Xbox as well.
Oh, that's very cool. It's about time they did that. Yeah.
So there's some talk of, would we like to do a 336 online league on the show and play against people? So that could be an interesting thing.
Crap, you just reminded me that I haven't checked my fantasy team in 2 weeks. Crap, Josh. Thank you for reminding me. Shoot, I gotta go do that after the show. But no, I mean, we had a hard enough time getting an NFL season for the whole season.
It's difficult to do a season with random people.
Yeah, I don't know how it works for MLB. Like, you play every game 162? Or
I
don't
know.
Play like once a week or something?
I'm doing a franchise now, like against the computer, so I'm playing all of them. But
see, even when I do a franchise, I usually just like pick one starter and like I'll just be at that starter every time.
Oh no, I'm trying to do the whole season.
That's
what I did. You know what I did this week?
What's that?
DFA'd Chris Davis.
Ooh. But see, in video game world, he'll just clear waivers and be in your minors.
In real world, he'll clear waivers and be in your minors.
No, in real world, can he clear waivers and then just leave? Like he doesn't play in the minors. He can just walk away.
I don't know if he can just walk away. I guess he can.
Yeah, he can.
But then you don't have to pay him if he walks away.
Oh no, you still have to pay him, right?
No, if you DFA someone, that just means another team can take them. But if another team doesn't take him, he's in your minors. He can't just go home.
He can't? I just thought he could just go home.
I don't think so. I think if he goes home, he doesn't get his contract. That's why he's on the 60-day DL and has disappeared, or IL. So someone can correct me on that.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I have a new workout routine, but I'll share that with Ball 4 next week.
All right, that sounds good. Yeah, I got a new workout routine too. It's called cleaning up my freaking yard, called yard work.
Yeah, it's getting your house up.
I rented a saw this weekend from Home Depot. I still can't lift my arm. I still can't lift my arms above my head.
Oh, my arms are very sore too from my workout.
I was going to make a John McCain joke, but I don't think, is that too soon or inappropriate?
I think that's inappropriate.
Okay, yeah. I won't make it then. I rescind that. Yeah. Even that I even thought about.
That did not happen.
Yeah. All right. That's a good note to end on.
Yeah. I will not call this the John McCain episode.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, we've gone full circle here. Me with that dumb comment, going full circle back to the open of the show about me not knowing that series don't start on Saturday. So we've gone full circle with Matt's an idiot.
Yes. Yeah. Now in the recording, do I leave in the pre-show or do I keep out the pre-show?
How much of that was? How much was that was in the show?
The conversation about baseball bats on airplanes.
Oh, okay.
So that might be in the pre-show if it recorded.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get out of here.
All right. Well, like Josh said before, support us on Patreon. Just go to section336.com support. Yeah. You can also follow us on Twitter. Oh, there's also some gear on the website too. You might want to check out.
Oh yeah, expanded the shirts out to year 2027.
Yes, support requested. The dynasty.
So far 2023, I'm using what T-shirts are bought as kind of a vote, so that I can see kind of where our listeners and how our listeners feel about what's going on as far as years. And so far, 2023 is still in the lead.
Good. We want this thing as soon as possible. Yeah.
Every year has a vote, but 2023 is in the lead.
Well, that's where my shirt is too. 2023. So buy a shirt. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Section336. You can follow Josh on Twitter
at Josh Soroka and at Birdland Sports for some Birdland tonight after each game.
That's right. Thanks for listening, boys and girls. And as always, go O's.